A lot of people want to live this lifestyle where they feel like they can work from their laptops and live in really cool places around the world. And today I am going to teach you the first step of how to become a digital nomad. So to start off, we need to define what digital nomad is. A lot of people want this lifestyle but don't know where to start because they don't even know what kind of options are out there. So in today's video, what I'm trying to achieve is to tell you the different types of digital nomads so that you can make a decision about what works for you and what you want to become. Now, I have two terms I'm going to define first. Number one is location independence, and number two is, of course, digital nomad. So what location independence essentially means is that as most people have to go to a fixed office and do work from a certain place, you work online entirely and you are not bound by a desk. You don't have to go into a certain office. And because you have that flexibility to work from your laptop and online, that means you can go anywhere in the world as long as there is internet. And then as for digital nomads are location independent, and on top of that, they tend to be associated with people who travel more. Maybe they're moving around more frequently, they're going out and doing cool things, having cool experiences. That's why a lot of people want to become digital nomads because, let's face it, being tied to a desk and going to the same office every single day and living the same routine every single day for I don't know how many years is kind of boring sometimes. So some people just want the excitement of being able to go out there and experience something different. So in short, all digital nomads are location independent, but not everyone location independent is a digital nomad. Okay, so now let's dive a little bit deeper into the two categories. I am going to go into digital nomad first because this is the more popular one where more people are curious about. So the biggest differentiating factor about digital nomads is they do move quite a bit. So maybe they're staying in the same place for just a few days or a week, 2 weeks, or at most maybe a month, and then they're off to somewhere new to experience something different. And this is why this lifestyle is so exciting because it's constantly changing and you never know what you're going to get. For some of them, they actually just live a very minimalistic lifestyle. They maybe just have one suitcase that they take around with them and they just live out of that suitcase. If you've been doing a little bit of research on this, you go on Instagram, if you go on YouTube, you see a lot of people who are living in Bali, Thailand, all these really nice tropical vacation-y places. You see them post a lot on them in nature, doing cool things, maybe scuba diving or hiking. And they have these like glamorous lifestyle that you just really aspire to. So this is why a lot of people think digital nomads have to be influencers, YouTubers, and content creators because those are people who are the most active on social media, right? So of course we see them first, and of course we think that all digital nomads live that kind of lifestyle. But in reality, that's not necessarily true. A lot of digital nomads are website developers, writers, English teachers, whatever job you can do online, there's probably some digital nomad doing it. If we're going to talk stereotypes here, a lot of them have a very minimalistic lifestyle where they maybe just live out of 1 or 2 suitcases and they carry all their stuff with them so that they can just go wherever they want to go. My own observation though, it seems to me that a lot of people who are digital nomads put experience and living life as the priority. So because of that, a lot of them complain about how sometimes it's very hard to be a digital nomad who is enjoying life and out there traveling, but at the same time having to take care of themselves, get enough rest, and most importantly, get some work done. So this is why a lot of people struggle as digital nomads, is they want to live, but at the same time, they still have to work in order to live. And that's probably the biggest dilemma that people come across. Digital nomad, in this sense, tends to take a more short-term view because traveling can be very exhausting. If you're moving from place constantly, and I've done this before, I was moving every few days, it was absolutely exhausting. And life gets so chaotic when you're always unpacking and packing and trying to get to know a place and try to find your new hotel or hostel. And I just can't imagine being able to do this for the long run and still be able to keep up a normal life on top of that. Another problem that I often see with people who are digital nomads is because they have this short-term view, they tend to just go and take on any job that they can find, even if the job is not contributing to their happiness and overall career goal. They just need anything that pays the bills so that they can continue to travel. And as you can see, this is not a very long-term career strategy. A lot of digital nomads complain about how another big issue is they feel very lonely, because if you're going from place to place, you know that whoever you meet is probably going to leave soon to wherever they come from or their next destination, right? So the people that you come across, you're not forming deep connections with them, and over time that can be incredibly lonely. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about location independence, which I think personally is the best way to have the best of both worlds. You get to live an exciting life, living in different places and having that experience of personal growth, and at the same time you still get to have a normal life where you're not feel like you're homeless and, you know, nomading around all the time. I came to realize as I was doing research that the digital nomads who have been doing this for a very long time, they tend to stay in places for a lot longer than what I used to imagine. So you're going to have a few home bases in the world where it actually feels like home, where you can keep your stuff and where you know people, and where you can go and recharge. And that way you wouldn't have to live out of a suitcase, because you can always still keep your stuff in a place where you can always go back to. And at the same time, if you do want to go and travel and just take some vacations, you can do it from your home bases. So it's a combination of both. Instead of moving every few days or maybe every 1 or 2 weeks, they're actually staying places for at least a month, if not longer, and sometimes up to a year. And by doing this, they are able to actually just slow it down, fully enjoy a place, instead of just feeling like they're rushing from location to location like you would be if you're just a tourist going to a foreign country and trying to get as much out of the country as possible in a short period of time. I think the most important thing about being location independent, though, is that because you're slowing down, when you arrive in a new place that you don't know at all, you actually can take the time to understand the place, understand its history, its culture, its people, and that way you actually gain more from being in that place rather than, you know, you would if you were just there for a few days. That way also you can make friends with meaningful connections and meaningful friendships. And every time you go back to that place, you can always hang out with them again and spend time with them again, so that you don't feel like you're just going from place to place and not having any meaningful connections. Why do I recommend this so much over being a digital nomad? Because when I was doing a solo backpack trip across Europe, I was moving every few days, and after all, you know, it wasn't that fulfilling. It felt like I just went to all these places, I checked them off my bucket list, I had a lot of photos to show off to everyone else, right? Not that I needed to show off, but it's a cool thing to say that you've done, but really, what did I really get out of it? I guess not as much. I did have a lot of cool travel stories, but yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I think the most that I got from that trip was it was really, really hard, because I was moving around. I was only 20 years old. I'm a female. I'm quite tiny, and I'm traveling by myself in countries where I don't even speak the language, and with no cellular data either. So that was really hard, and I think, you know, it definitely toughened me up. But other than that, I didn't feel at all that it would be a sustainable strategy if I want to continue to travel and explore the world. Just think about it this way. If you want to explore the world, why would you do it for just 1 or 2 years and, you know, go to as many countries as you can and then take a bunch of pictures and call it a day and go back to your normal lives, right? We want to do this because we really believe that this is an amazing lifestyle. We believe that exploring the world is important. We believe that changing places is important. We believe that being exposed to different perspectives is important. So if these things are important for you, why would you just do it for a short term and go back to your regular life? So this is why I think that being location independent and taking it slowly, taking a long-term approach is the best approach. Because if this is your dream life, then live it. for the rest of your life, or at least as long as you can. And to put it in other words, being location independent and taking a long-term approach is definitely less sexy, but at the same time, it's so much more sustainable and so much more fulfilling. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've learned about the two different types of digital nomads today, and now have some idea on how you want to design your nomad journey. If you want to become a digital nomad and live this lifestyle, make sure to like and subscribe. And I can't wait to continue to share with you all of the different stories and advice and insights that I get as a digital nomad. I'll see you next time.